Hi guys, Darth Deuces here, wrapping up the X-Men Apocalypse BAF wave with, of course, the Apocalypse BAF, or Build-A-Figure. This is my second Build-A-Figure that I've actually bought the whole wave to complete. The first one I did was the Thor Ragnarok Gladiator Hulk BAF. That was the first one I completed. This would be my second one. This is my second BAF figure. I've gotten some of the ones that were re-released. Yeah, I'm really stoked. I mean, when this wave was first announced and I saw this Apocalypse, I knew I had to get this one, so let's build them. So the torso came with Storm, the head came with Gladiator, one of the arms came with Magneto, one of the arms came with Sabretooth, one of the legs came with Madrox, and the other leg came with Psylocke. And the tubes came with Wolverine, if I didn't already say that. So, yeah, let's build them. And we gotta start with the torso, obviously. Let's see here. So far, the legs slot in really well. They're tight in there, but they also go on easily enough, so that is really good to see. The arms here, let's see how this goes. Well, that arm seems to be in there. That didn't make a nice click though, but it seems to be in there. That one made a click. So that makes me feel a little sketchy about this arm, but it seems to be in there. And you got the pipes here, I guess, or tubes, or whatever the hell you want to call them. So there, sorry about that. Got the pipes in there, the tubes, those go in really well. Plug that in, plug that in. That looks pretty good. Sorry, I'll get you raised up here a bit. And we will plop the head on. Oh. And here we have Apocalypse fully built, and he is super, super cool. I'm not disappointed by this figure. I knew, like I said, I really wanted this guy when he was announced. And he looks fantastic. And no small parts of the sculpt and the paint that was put into this figure. He looks really, really cool. He's not perfect, of course. I do have my small gripes with the figure, but for the most part, they're small gripes. I really enjoy this one a lot. So I guess first off, looking at the head sculpt. Head sculpt is really, really cool. He's got the red eyes, the black outlines. It's got some nice little shading, and the skin tone looks really good. The teeth are cool. They're actually got sculpted an underbite for him, which I think is kind of cool. You got the blue metallic lips, which looks great as well. The big angry face looks really cool, and you got the little head thing here as well. Looks nice. All the paint on him is really nicely done. These dark blackish gray have a really nice reflective paint, or shiny paint to them, and the blue and the dark gray on him, again, really nice and shiny to really conveys a sense of quality and, I guess, metallicness to the figure, which is really cool. But you got this bracer here, which is glued onto the figure, which is fine. I wouldn't want it moving around. And that looks really good. These shoulder pads look really cool as well. And they are articulated. They're on a hinge, so you can't hinge them up a bit. So that's good. Got these big arms here, has some veins sculpted there, which is really cool. And the forearm armor again looks really nice and shiny. It's got very Colossus-esque hands with the sort of lines going through them, which is interesting. And the back here looks really good. There's not a whole lot of marbling going on as well, which is good. On the belt here, you got where the hoses poured in. You get the hoses which go into the arms. They really don't get in the way too much. I mean, they might pour it out every once in a while when you're posing them, but they're not overly annoying, so that's really good. The A on his belt looks great. The paint detail on the belt looks fantastic. The legs look really good. The proportions look great as well. And the legs, the boot armor as well. Looks really awesome. He does have these loose bits on the ankles here, which may be a little finicky, but they do hide the ankle joints really well, so I do like that a lot. Overall, just a fantastic looking figure. I can't sing enough praise for it in that regard. In terms of articulation, he's pretty well articulated for the most part. You can look up only a little bit because of the bracer, but you can look down quite a bit and rotate. Not really any pivot. Ball hinges at the shoulders move all the way out. They rotate. They're not going to go all the way forward because of the shoulder plate, but you can still get them pretty far. Single joint in the elbow, or sorry, a bicep swivel. Single joint in the elbow, which doesn't move 90 degrees, which is unfortunate, but it moves close to it. To get it to go as far as you want it, these arm guards are actually separate pieces. You have to shift them down all the way, make sure they're down all the way so you can get that elbow articulation. Ab crunch, which is good. It moves pretty forward, back, and pretty far forward and back, so that's good. It's not really loose. You have to swivel at the waist, but it's hard to get full usage of it because the belt doesn't stay in place and it goes with the torso, so it kind of bends the belt, so that's kind of unfortunate. Pretty good range of motion in the hips. He has quite a decent spread. This hip's just slightly loose, so it won't hold that perfectly, but he's got pretty good leg articulation. Swivels at the thighs, which are nice and tight. Double hinges at the knees. One of my biggest issues here is with my Psylocke leg, which I mentioned in that review. The peg actually isn't in this hole for this knee joint. It's in this one, so it still moves fine, and it's not going to like fall apart or anything, but it's just annoying that that happens, and that got through QC. It really sucks. You do have that bend, and you have a swivel at the ankle, so you can rotate it all the way around. A hinge at the ankle, which moves pretty good forward and back. You probably want to move that out of the way to get the range of motion, and then a really nice pivot. So you can get this Apocalypse in some really great poses, which is awesome. So next up, I'm going to do some comparisons first. So first of all, here he is with Wolverine, who's a smaller figure. He towers over Wolverine. Here he is with Madrox on the bucket cap, significantly taller than him. And with some taller figures, here's Colossus. He's just slightly taller than Colossus. It's hard to see the way I have my camera. I guess I can, like that. So he's slightly taller than Colossus. Here's the recent Walmart Thanos. He's taller than Thanos, which I think's funny. Thanos is an older figure. Here he is with the 10 years Hulk. Hulk's just a bit taller, but he's a lot closer to that size. So, I think another small gripe, it's not a huge gripe, but I think this Apocalypse could have been just a little taller. But it doesn't matter too much, and he can change his size as one of his abilities, so it's not a huge deal, but it would have been nice. And one little comparison we'll do is, here's the Marvel Universe Apocalypse from years back with this new Apocalypse. And you can see they share design similarities with colors, and the boots are almost exactly the same style. But they are still different designs. The collars are similar as well. I like the pipes on this one a lot better. These pipes kind of suck. But yeah, that's pretty much it for Apocalypse. It's a really awesome BAF. I think this one is definitely worth building, either tracking down the pieces for him or getting the whole wave. The whole wave is solid in itself. And for my ranking, the ranking's pretty hard. It was easy to pick my least favorite of the wave, and it was hard to pick all the rest of the places. It really was. This is a really solid wave, and we will get right on to that list right now. Alright, now on to my ranking of this wave. And this wave was really hard to rank, because this wave is just extremely solid wave of figures. I really enjoy a lot of these figures. I'm pretty close to the same level, and it's really hard to rank these. But unfortunately for my number one, or my least favorite of the wave was pretty easy to pick. Everything else wasn't. I tried to be relatively objective, though my bias is going to be in here, so this is my opinion on my personal favorite figures ranked in the wave. It's not like universal, this is how it is. So don't take it to heart. Obviously, people are definitely gonna have different lists than mine because I do have some different choices than others at the like number 1 spot, I'm guessing. But at number 8, including the BAF, so 8 is Gladiator, and it's not a bad figure. He has some decent articulation. He looks cool. Yeah, at the end of the day, it's just a repaint of a figure that was already released and of a character that I just don't know much about at all, and I just can't really get overly excited about the figure because I'm just not overly familiar with the character. At the end of the day, this figure was bought mainly for the BAF piece. It's still a cool figure, but I just don't expect to see myself. I don't see myself photographing or playing around with this one too much, just kind of throwing it on the shelf and kind of being done with it. But yeah, that's number 8. At number 7, this was really hard to put so low, and it's really hand in hand with number 7 and number 6. They could really change, or even number 5. They could really change and are on pretty equal footing with each other. But I put Storm here at the 7th place, and it's a good figure. It has great sculpting work, great paint apps. I like the lightning effects. It definitely amplifies the figure, makes her look a lot more, pop out a lot more on display, and gives you a lot more display options. It's just not like a classic outfit or even just like a more X-Men oriented outfit. It's just kind of this punk rock sort of look. And I like it. It looks good. It's just, I don't know. There's just other figures I like more in this wave. But she's still a really, really good one. So just because she's so low, don't discount that fact. At number 6, I have Sabretooth. I really like this figure. Even if it reuses a lot of parts, I think it's still a really cool looking Sabretooth. The head does sit on the neck a little high, but it doesn't bother me too much. The seams on the mouth or the jaw are kind of annoying, but I can look past that because the head sculpt is still fantastic. I like the posability on the figure. He just looks really, really cool, and I'm really happy to have a good looking and good articulated, solid version of this character in the collection. At 5, I have Madrox, the Multiple Man. And honestly, I thought when I first saw like this wave announced and saw the figures that were in this wave, I thought this figure was going to be like my number 7, my second from the bottom. But I actually like this figure a lot more than I thought I was going to. I don't know. I mean, just uses the Bucky Cat mold, but I really like the design. I like the costume with the trench coat over it. I think it looks really badass. The paint detailing for the most part is really good. It comes with 3 different head sculpts, and each head sculpt is really good. Posing's decent. It's just a fun figure. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to get another one or not. If I find another one in stores, I'll probably get it to get, at least have one duplicate. It's just a really cool figure. I really do enjoy this one a lot more than I expected to. Psylocke is at number 4. It's a really good figure. It's probably a bit low on my list just because of my unfamiliarity with the character. But I really like it. The body mold and the paint is really well done. I don't really have any issues with it. I guess it does have quite a lack of actual sculpted detail, but she doesn't really need sculpted detail, I suppose. Articulation's really good. I love the accessories. The accessories are awesome on this figure. I think that's what really helps to sort of elevate the figure to the next level. Head sculpt's really good. I know some people are bummed out about the color of the hair. That is being corrected with newer issues of the figure coming out are correcting that. So soon that should probably be the norm Psylocke figure. I really like it. Just again, figures and characters I like more. At number 3 is Wolverine. Objectively, this is probably the best figure of the wave. For me personally, I really do like it. It is definitely one of my favorites of the wave, but it's not my most favorite of the wave. But yeah, objectively, it's probably the best. It's definitely, I'd say, I guess it depends on your preference of costume over the brown costume or the Tiger Stripe one. But I'd say this is definitely the best Wolverine figure you can get at this scale at a more general consumer retailer price. Not counting like Revoltech or imports or any other imports or Mezco. This is probably the best Wolverine you can get. Just really well done. The head sculpt's awesome. The mold in general is a really good mold. Articulation's fantastic. Paint apps and overall sculpt is great. Somehow they improved the claws as well, one, they're painted better than other claws I've seen, and also for some reason these ones are just a lot easier to get into a pose or a look you actually want them to be in. They're not too hard to straighten out, as opposed to other Wolverine figures where they can be a pain. And it's just super cool. Really, really good Wolverine figure. You don't have a Wolverine figure, you get this Wolverine figure, then you're pretty much good. You don't really need to get another Wolverine figure. So he is number 3. Put him right there. At number 2 is the Apocalypse BAF. I mean, one of my main reasons for getting the whole wave was to build this BAF. So it's going to be high on my favorites of this wave. And it is just really, really good, I think. I mean, there are problems with it. I do have the QC issue with the knee. I think he could have been a little bit taller, just a little bit bigger. Even though he still is a good size, but I think a little bit bigger would have been nice. The elbow articulation's a little hindered. And it would have been nice to get alternate hands for like him morphing into weapons or whatever. That would have been cool, but even without those, it's still a super awesome piece. I think it's the best Apocalypse you can get in terms of proportions and overall look. I think it's the best looking Apocalypse figure you can get. And it's just super awesome. I'm super happy to have this. He looks fantastic. And this is going to be a really unpopular opinion, I think, but my favorite of the wave is Magneto. Even without not being his classic costume, Magneto is my favorite character. I still really do like this new costume, and I think the figure was executed really well. The body mold is great. I think it fits really well for Magneto. The articulation's really good. I like the cape. The helmet looks awesome, even with the little paint flaws. The helmet's awesome. The head sculpts, both of them are really good. He comes with a good amount of accessories, which I like. I think it's just a really awesome Magneto figure. A really awesome figure, my favorite character. So he's my number 1. And I know he's probably not going to be like anyone's number 1 for this wave. And 9 times out of 10, I'm guessing that Wolverine's going to be people's number 1. But I really like this Magneto. I really like it a lot. And overall, this is a really, really solid wave of figures. It seems Hasbro always really does an outstanding job with their X-Men Marvel Legends waves. This is a full wave of just comic characters, so potentially not appealing to, I suppose, the younger kids who may not be too familiar with comics these days and more familiar with the MCU. I think this is a super great wave, has a great BAF. Every figure, I think, for the most part, is worth getting because they're all really, really good. Anyways, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you think about this wave in the comments down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video as always.